Hey you guys, happy Easter. I hope you've had a good day. I had a really good day with my family and now I just got back from a bike ride. It's like 40 degrees, so it was a little bit of a chilly bike ride, but I needed to get out and think and process. So I have something personal I'm going to share with you, so please listen to the end because then we're going to talk about business. So God has used this business to reveal so much. The personal growth that I've experienced in this business is like unbelievable, and He has used it to just uproot so many things that I have believed about myself that have not been true, and He has just, I mean, it's like I'm very much a different person than I was 2 years ago before I started, and this last year has been a lot about revealing that I'm trying to think of how to tell you this without telling you everything because you don't really probably care. Basically, I have not known how to acknowledge my feelings when I'm hurt or I'm mad. I always assume that if there is issues here and I am hurt, that I need to just get over my hurt and not be hurt and then worry about the other person. Well, obviously that isn't a great strategy to life because the hurt doesn't just go away just because I pretend that I'm not hurt anymore. And so I recognize that in the last year. So I have started to deal with some things that I have really, I've been hurt by or mad about or whatever. And basically the visual that I feel like God gave me is that all my hurt was in an egg. And like the outside of the egg was like the protection of me not having to deal with it. In the summer, there was just a little crack and a little bit of the hurt started coming out. And I recognized it and I started dealing with it. And I've been dealing with that. And I have experienced incredible freedom from it, and really good things are happening because of it. But then suddenly in this last month, it's like the whole egg is cracked open, and all of that yolk, which is hurt of, like I'm 38, so all these years worth of hurt is just like spilling out. And I'm trying to sort through and try to figure out what is truth, what really happened, what didn't happen, what did I imagine, all this kind of stuff. And it's been paralyzing, and it has affected my business this last week. I have been absolutely paralyzed. Like I haven't known how to pray. I haven't known how to think. I think I've cried more in the last week than I haven't cried. And it's been really confusing and frustrating. Well, I had some really intense prayer therapy, which, has been really good, but also maybe added a little bit to the confusion as I've just been sorting it all out. Anyways, all that to say is that what I've noticed is that when God starts to uproot one thing, it kind of starts unlocking all these other things that maybe I've never dealt with or allowed myself to deal with because I needed to start dealing with kind of like the root issue. Okay. Well, so for me, what I have recognized, literally this is all just kind of like come together in my head today. And, so if I'm not super eloquent in explaining it, I am sorry. I'm still kind of processing it myself, but basically, I'm an adventurous person. God created me to be adventurous. He created me to be, to do fun things. And I'm that girl who I go to the beach and I lay down for 20 minutes and I'm like, yeah, and I'm done. And I need to walk around and explore and pick up seashells and jump in the water. And, I go to my in-laws live on a lake and we go up there, and I swim to the island with my kids and I go canoeing all over and kayaking all over the lake. And if we have jet skis, I'm the one who's going crazy on the jet skis, and I love to downhill ski. I love to cross country ski. I love to snowmobile. I love to ice skate outside and inside. And I love to do projects. We put sod in our yard last year and I was all over helping my husband with that. Like, I like to get my hands dirty. I like to do things. But for years and years ago, I started thinking that wasn't okay because of things like my mom is not that person. She is very content just being at home. Her favorite place in the world is to be at home with her family. And I love my family and I love my home. That is not the most content I am. I get very antsy when I'm in that place. And yet, because I respect my mom very much and I look up to her, I thought that I was wrong for wanting adventure. And so basically, and then also we added to that we didn't have money for so many years. And so it was really, everything costs money. So, like I rode bikes, so I went biking tonight. Well, clearly it doesn't cost anything to do that, but it costs money to get my bike the first time. So there's all sorts of things that maybe I'd love to do, but it costs money the first time. And that just hasn't either been allowed in the past because we haven't actually had the money, or it just has not been a priority for me because I try to put my kids as my priority as far as, where I spend my money or whatever. And anyways, I'm also really creative. Like when we first got married, and for Christmas and birthdays, I would like indulge in gifts. Like I mean, I don't even think I ever budgeted. I just bought things, and I love to buy gifts. I'm a huge gift giver. I love receiving gifts, and I would, I would spend all sorts of money on ribbons and bows and coordinating wrapping paper and stuff for Christmas, at Christmas time, and like everything. I just wanted everything to be cute and beautiful, when I would give it away or whatever. And then we stopped having money, and I stopped being able to do that, and I started buying the cheapest wrapping paper, and maybe I didn't even buy bows most years because it just didn't make sense, because it was, $2 more, and that $2 could buy a gallon of milk or whatever. And I started being really practical. You guys, I'm not a very practical person. Like I hated buying off the registry when I would go to showers for people that I knew really well, because I'm like, I want to buy really fun things, and I want to buy non-practical things. I don't want to, buy you plates, because you're going to get plates. I wanted to buy artwork or whatever, and I stopped being that person. I started being very practical. I really haven't decorated my kids' rooms very much because I didn't have the money. I've done it a little bit here and there as I can. I am an interior decorator. Like I decorate other people's houses. And I remember about 7 or 8 years ago, my house was super outdated, and I didn't have any money to update it. And I remember being like, I don't even know how to update it. Like I couldn't even put my mind there because it's like I had allowed that part of me to be squelched. Well, that's come alive a little bit in other people's houses, and I've decorated my current house much more. But all that to say is that I stopped letting this part of me, who is very much a part of me, exist. And so as I am pushing, I'm going to get emotional now, as I'm pushing to go triple, you guys, I've been in the same place in this business for 2 years. Like, please do not be discouraged when you hear that. But because God I have learned so much, and some really huge things have happened. But I've basically been in the same place for 2 years. And I think that when I go triple, it is going to change our life so drastically that it is going to allow for adventure to happen, and it's going to allow for me not to be practical anymore. It's going to allow for me to be able to buy the fun ribbons and bows again, and I have been scared of that because is it okay? Is it okay to spend money on things that are indulgent? Is it okay to want to travel and want to experience things? Because I have felt so much like I just needed to be completely content with being at home day in and day out. But instead, what I've noticed is that I fight depression because of that. When I am out and about, I need days to rest. Like, I'm not saying I need to go every single day, and I don't need to spend money to do so many things, but when I'm home day in and day out, that is not good for my soul, because that's not who I am. And when I get to get out and do things, like I went on a 7-mile bike ride that took me half an hour, like it was nothing, and yet it totally transformed my spirit. And so, but as I am pushing to promote and realizing that this promotion is going to allow me to become this person, be adventurous again, and indulge a little bit here and there, and be creative, and spend money on, my Easter basket for my kids is one big basket, and I throw some candy in there. It's like, I don't know how to allow myself to spend money on that, because it's not practical, or I don't buy them Christmas clothes for just a Christmas present, or just family pictures, or just Easter Sunday, because it's not practical. Like, and yet that is who I am. I want to do those things. And I think that because I have allowed that whole part of who I am to shut down over the last 15 years, that has paralyzed me from pushing forward. Like, I know how to work this business, and I've worked it harder in the last couple months than I have in a long time. But I have a feeling that some of you are in the same place as me. I have a feeling that some of you know that when you move forward and you promote and you go somewhere in this business, that there is a fear on the other side. You're afraid to stay where you are. You're afraid to not have money. You're afraid to not be able to do things and give, but there's a fear that is holding you back from pushing to the other side. You guys, I really want to challenge you to figure out what that is, and don't be afraid to figure out what it is, because it isn't worth it. I wish I would have figured this out 2 years ago. Because I suddenly feel this like insane drive, to go. I'm going presidential this year. And I know that so many of you are coming with me, and I want you all to come with me. But I really believe that sometimes the idea of success is almost as scary as just staying exactly where we are. And so I really want to challenge you to figure out what it is that if you believe that you're holding back. I have worked really hard this month. So it's not that I've worked, but there has been something that isn't working in me. It's something that has been paralyzed in me. And I've trying to process it through with my husband this last month. And I suddenly, as it all came clear to me in the last day or two, that I've literally just shut off this part of who I am, that has prevented me from working, as hard as I know how. And I think that people feel that, people can always feel when we're afraid or when we're unsure, when we're doubtful and we're talking to people, they can feel that. It definitely comes out, even if we say all the right words and approach everything all the right way. So you guys, let's do this. Let's go to the top of this company. Let's not let fear be the thing that causes us to walk away or to quit or just stay the same for 2 years. Like, that's insane to me. I'm so over it. So over the fact that I let myself stay in the same place for 2 years because of fear, and a fear I didn't even recognize I was having. So dig in, you guys. Figure it out. Figure out your why is huge, and that has to happen. But also figure out why you're not working the way that you know how to work. And for those of you who are working the way you know how to work, I'm so excited for you because I know that this is going to happen in the next couple days. And you guys, we still have 4 days. So much can happen in 4 days. Like when I went double, I needed 5 distributors and 5,000 in volume. And I went double that month. I had a week left, and that's what happened. So if you're, if you're 1 or 2 distributors away from Ruby and you need 2,000 in volume, totally can happen. If you're 3 or 4, distributors and some volume away from Emerald, if you're just volume away from a promotion, don't stop, you guys. We have the most amazing gift to offer people. Go and offer people that gift, and don't be afraid to move forward. Let's do this together. Okay, I'm going. I want you to come with me.